controversial topic in current animal production methods is dairy production. Dairy cows are in production for about 3 to 4 years before they are culled from the herd and then slaughtered for meat. Cows are on a high production cycle and calve out once a year to continue their milk lactation cycle. After birth, calves are removed immediately from their mothers or shortly after having nursed their mom. Most dairies have an open housing system without access to pasture. So the ethical question here is, are these current methods of milk production morally acceptable?
Stakeholders for this case include the cattle themselves, the producers, the consumers, and the retailers. Regan believes that all animals are subjects of a life, meaning they feel pain and pleasure and have an interest in their own future. The goal then of the cattle is to have a long life where they experience more pleasure than pain. The goal of the producer is to be able to produce milk for the consumers at the lowest cost to them. The goal of the consumers is similar in that their goal is to be able to purchase milk at the lowest cost to them. The retailers, the goal of them is to provide various products for consumers with different dietary preferences, such as organic and non-organic, and to provide product for consumers that is lowest cost to them but provides a profit for the retailers.
One concern is the life cycle production of cows. Lameness is one of the most common causes of distress in dairy cattle. Lameness decreases milk yield and fertility in cows. The average cost to treat per case of lameness is $466. Along with mastitis, lameness impacts dairy herd production by decreasing milk yield. These two health implications occur increasingly as the cow ages. This is a major reason for culling within dairy herds. Based on Peter Singer's utilitarian view, culling of cows due to decrease in productivity, along with the onset of different health issues such as lameness and mastitis, would be deemed unethical. This is due to the case that each being, human and non-human, are treated fairly and equally.
Another concern is that the calves are pulled from their mothers immediately. When the calves are allowed to nurse off the mom, it has been proven that the calves gain more than 10% of their own body weight and grow at a much faster rate. However, when the calves are pulled from their mothers, like most farms do, the same goal can be accomplished by providing the calf with the opportunity of higher milk intakes. This has been shown that providing the calves more milk when they are pulled from their mother, there is a higher rate of body weight gains, improved feed conversion, and a reduced age of the first year breeding in heifers. Calves pulled from their mothers soon after birth can also help reduce transmission of diseases from cow to calf. In controversy, when pulling calves from cows at a young age and housed in calf hutches, there is an increased chance that the calves will have more respiratory problems. This is due to increased humidity and air quality in the barn.
Housing is another issue in dairy production. Housing can be controversial for both production and welfare point of view. Producers share a common ground with the welfare activists, both wanting the animals to experience the least amount of pain and the most comfort. In 2012, the effects of housing facilities and cases of lameness in high-producing herds was evaluated. Udder health, reproduction, overall lameness, and milk production were the main factors examined. While injuries varied for every system, there was a significant production difference between the two. With systems using more of a confinement method, you will see an increase in the milk production but higher rates of lameness and mastitis. In grazing systems, there is lower instances of illness but also lower overall production. When cows are allowed the option of pasture, they did prefer the pasture, but only during certain daylight hours. During the day, the cows were found to be inside the open barn, especially when the temperature was high. This is because the barn was provided shade and was not accessible in the field.
When looking at culling cows, we take into consideration the suffering that would come about if we did not cull the animal based on the amount of suffering it is experiencing. Pulling calves has been shown to increase weight gain and reduce disease transmission from mother to calf. The current housing methods could be improved to allow cattle to have access to pasture when the cows are not being milked. But overall, the current method of milk production is morally acceptable because it takes into consideration the animal's welfare while still remaining profitable for producers.